flip over to basketball now. We'll start with the men's team. This is a team now that's dropped 2 straight games, lost to their arch rivals there in Tennessee. Cause for concern at all where they sit right now after these 2 straight losses, now 8-6 in the SEC, or do you think that this team can finish strong, handle themselves before the SEC tournament?
Well, I think they'd like to shoot the ball better down the stretch. You know, Tyler Tanner being hurt, being sick in that game certainly didn't help. Tennessee is headed in the right direction. Typical Rick Barnes team, getting better as the season finishes. Absolutely. And you know, Nathan Ament didn't start real strong in that game, but he was there, and they still have some guys who can score, and they got through some foul problems and got some stuff off the bench. But you know, Tyler Tanner, number one, being ill, and then they did a really good job against Tyler Nickel, you know, defensively, where they weren't going to let him beat him from the perimeter. So you know, again, where you know they have Miles who did come back, and they could use some more points from some more people, and you know they got off to the great start, and they're a good basketball team. But I think we've seen enough of them to say they're probably between a 4 and a 6 seed, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what they do the rest of the way. And Tennessee is probably before a 4 and a 6, between a 4 and a 6 seed. And I think they're going to play again here in Knoxville. And I would expect that game to be a 4 or 5 point game, you know, once again. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said the SEC, because we were talking about what a down year it was for the league in basketball, and they said they're still going to get 11 teams. And I was like, wow. I mean, and that's great. There's going to be a lot of first and second round losers, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's not just a bash on the SEC by any means. It's the NIL portal world.
Yeah.
The field is more balanced. You're seeing it in football. Now you're starting to see it in basketball.
Right.
You know, just the balance of the fields. And you know, Vanderbilt. You know, we said early in the year that they hadn't played as tough of a schedule, and that and they would lose some games in the SEC, and they have. You know, if they lost more than we thought, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they've got. I'd have to go. Do they have a terrible loss in there?
I don't think so.
I mean, they lost in Arkansas.
The Oklahoma one.
Yes, that's the one bad loss. And they almost won. They almost won that one. I mean, so they've got one bad loss. You lose at Texas. You lose at Arkansas. You know, you would like to defend your home court against Tennessee for sure. I know there's also some disappointment that they kind of let Tennessee fans take over Memorial Gym in that game. My question is how many of those seats were sold before the season started?
100%.
Because I don't, you know, if people knew how good this Vanderbilt team was going to be, maybe they wouldn't have let that happen, but they did let that happen. And the other thing is when you see, and this is in all sports, when you see the season ticket holders selling their tickets to their rivals, you know, I know it rubs people the wrong way. To me, tickets are expensive. You don't want people to sell them. You don't want people to sell them to pay for their season tickets. Don't make them so expensive.
That's the thing. Yes.
Exactly. But we were talking with Julian on Friday, and obviously
I know that guy.
Yeah, you do know that guy. And obviously, one of the big storylines coming into this game was the return of Duke Miles, and we were both in agreement that we thought he might be on a minutes restriction in his first game back. How much of Tyler Tanner being sick do you think played an impact in how much Duke Miles played? Because I was kind of shocked at the minutes.
Yeah, I think he probably had to play more than they wanted him to. And you know, he still wasn't. You could tell he wasn't fully integrated, right?
Right.
I mean, they were still feeling some stuff out. And Tanner has been such a dominant part of that basketball team. You know, when he is, and that's not making an excuse. Tennessee made the shots they need to make to win the game. But, you know, when you're talking about why did Duke Miles play more, you know, obviously they would like to have gotten even more from Tyler Tanner because that's who he is. But in the end, you know, does that make them better in March?
Right.
I mean, that's the bigger question. Does losing at Tennessee at home make them a better team when the bids come out? You know, I know we're going to talk about the women's team here in a second. Best thing that happened to them was that loss at South Carolina.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you see what Aubrey Galvin has been since that game, it's been unbelievable. So, you know, losing is not the worst thing, and obviously you don't want it to be like the Lady Vols where the losses are piling up.
Right.
You want to be able to move on and learn from them. And I don't know how much more there is for this Vanderbilt team to learn. I think we're just seeing that they're a good team. They're not a great team.
Yes.
On the right day, they can play with anybody, and on the right day, they can get taken down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll talk about the women, as you mentioned, on the other side of this soundbite. Here's Coach Mark Byington, both on what decided the game, and Tyler Tanner.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams struggled to score in segments, and we had ours. The margin of error is very small in a game like this. It's hard to score against them. They do a great job there. So us not being, great on offense wasn't completely unexpected, but we missed opportunities. There was some shots there, some threes, some executions, some things, some missed looks that were there. My guys will come right back, and the coaches will come right back, and we'll learn from it. We'll get better. It's the SEC is very physical. He tested positive for the flu yesterday, and then he was recovering. I thought he played hard. He was not going to miss this game. That's just who he is. And so he gave every bit of effort he has, and like I said, I'll go down with him anytime. He's a warrior. I love him to death. I'll go down with him anytime.
So Coach Mark Byington staying positive in this one about Tyler Tanner and about the team moving forward. I feel like it's kind of a one-off there.